Welcome to the Perlo Podcast. We talk construction, its people, its challenges, its opportunities. We talk to industry and trade experts, movers and shakers, and people who get buildings built right. Join us, you won't regret it. Welcome back to the Perlo Podcast. My name is Elissa Looney. I'm the Director of Strategic Initiatives at Perlo Construction, and I am here on site today with George Trice, Superintendent, and Nate Brown, Project Manager, both with Perlo, and we are going to dive into their project up here in Ridgefield, Washington. So to get us started, George, can you give us an overview of what you're building?
Well, it's a spec building, for spec, 480,000 plus square feet. Hopefully we get a tenant here soon and we'll do a TI in it, but right now it's just a warehouse.
Okay, corn shell, concrete tilt up.
Yep.
What's our schedule been?
As far as?
Just overall duration?
11 months.
11 months, okay. And so tell me about where you're kind of at in the process with the building.
3/4.
3/4 of the way through.
Yep.
Walls are tilted.
Walls tilted, roof, 80%, probably 70% structure done. Starting to dry in today. Got curbs poured, truck aprons poured. Be doing trash enclosures, get poured here right shortly. Hopefully we finish a month ahead of schedule. Right now it's looking pretty good.
Month ahead.
We'll see.
Oh,
we'll see.
Nice.
Don't put that on camera. Come on.
Yeah. Erase that.
Nah, you'll get it done.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure you will.
Yep. That's the game plan.
What is contributing to being so far ahead of schedule?
Well, we weren't. During the winter time, it was tough, but I think after we tilted, we got out here, structural roof got going, and we caught up, started doing the exterior work, doing all the curbs, getting all that. They weren't supposed to start, until now, so we got all that done, and so we could gain on all the outside stuff.
It's really at a good weather window because we've now been quite wet the last few weeks.
Yeah. And usually you don't pour your truck aprons till the roof's on. I poured mine both sides before roof structure even started, so.
Okay, yeah, I noticed as I drove in that it looks like you've used that for a lot of your staging areas now.
Yep.
And get it out of the way for the rest of the site work.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. How big is your site?
Well, building alone is 11 acres. I'm not sure of what the whole acreage-wise probably says right there, Elissa, somewhere right in here if I had my glasses on. What do we got here?
50 acres.
Yep, 50 acres.
Okay. Okay, great. And we took it, this was just greenfield.
Yep, couple buildings and houses over on the far side up front, but it wasn't in our way. They were back over in this area right here, yeah. And we tore all those down, got rid of those too.
Okay.
So.
And so you're acting as a project superintendent.
Yep.
So your role is kind of overall field crew direction, labor stacking, keeping up with the schedule, that kind of thing. Nate, you're actually new to the industry. Just joined our team as a project manager, and you're stationed out here on site as well, taking the opportunity to learn about construction.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you talk us through what you've been learning and some of maybe the surprising things that you've discovered so far?
Be honest. That's gonna be hard.
How long have we got?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, we got lots.
When do I get to the truth? So I've learned quite a bit since I've been out here on site. So I kind of do hybrid where I'm in the office a little bit, and then I come out here mainly about 3 days a week. So for me, I'm kind of a visual learner. I like to see things. I like to see how things are done. And I think something like this, being on site and actually seeing it, it's been very beneficial for me. I feel like I've learned more in 6 months here than I would have in the office per se about actually building commercial construction. Because I came out here and we were just CTing the land, basically getting the land prepped. And so it was kind of cool to see from that point. It was just, an open field, and now we've got a building up with roof structure. So there's a bunch of fine details within that to get us to this point now, and those details are the things that I'm learning, and it's been quite the process. Mm-hmm. It's overwhelming at times, but it's nothing I can't handle.
Excellent. And you've got a rock star teacher, right?
Sometimes she thinks I'm an HR problem, but other than that, we're okay.
A rock star teacher, it's just not him.
Oh, okay. Good. You got the other people are teaching.
Yeah, that's right. Okay. They're all in the office right now.
I'm glad we got that cleared up.
No. George's been great throughout the whole process. He knows I'm coming in new to commercial construction, and he's been very gracious, and he takes his time to show me the ropes. And so I've been very appreciative of that since day one. So.
Good.
I give him times now. When I give him an RFI, he's got something like 23 minutes, 47 seconds to get it done now. So we're gaining.
Or he's giving me drawings to like throw out, and he's like, give me 17 minutes, and I say, I need more than 17 minutes. But we work it out. We got a good team.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. That's an interesting teaching style, George. But
oh yeah, got to gain on every one. You need to gain
get
again.
faster each time.
Yep.
Is that kind of like it's okay to make a mistake as long as you don't do it more than once?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay,
Yep.
good. Right. All right. Yep. So talk to me about, it's a tilt-up building. And so people who aren't used to seeing a tilt-up building may not quite understand the sequence of events to get it up out of the ground. So can you talk us through a little bit of the parts and pieces that go into getting the building from greenfield to completed shell?
So the dirt workers start stripping the site. Then a lot of times, if it's summertime, you don't have to CT a lot of times, but
CT is?
Concrete treat the soil.
Okay.
So depends, sometimes you have to in the summer too, but here we had to CT the site. So we CT'd the site, rocked it, started digging footings, started grading for slab. So once the footings get dug, we get geo out here, check everything out, proof roll everything. Then we start building footings, slab at the same time. Once we get slab going, we spray the slab with bond breakers so we can build our panels on that slab. We start just sort of working our way down through the building with slab, footings, panels. By the time we get to the end, hopefully everything works out good and they all lift off the slab and we tilt the panels. Then we start the roof structure and go from there.
I think a piece people may not know is when you build your slab for the building, you don't actually run the slab all the way up to where the walls are going to be at first.
You got to pour strip because the panels have to tie into the slab. That's part of your structural of your building. You got rebar coming out of your panels that tie in with the slab along with your roof, and then that ties everything in. So
those panels tilt up and they sit on your footings.
Yep.
And then you've got a gap between that wall and what's there for the slab, 10 feet, okay. And then at the kind of the end, once you've got the roof structure up,
tied in, we'll start backfilling and then we'll pour strip around the building.
Okay. So. And a lot of times we'll see utilities and low voltage, things like that.
All
in
your
that
electrical will get in there before we start backfilling. So then we don't have to dig for him. So he's already got a lot of that in already.
All right. So. It's a good rule of thumb to always check that space if you're going to be putting in, say, a dock after the fact. Yep. Make sure you're not running into any utilities in there. Dock,
just later on a spec building like this, actually I'm pouring both ends and not pouring my dock for a while just because they might get a tenant. And I told spec that I will hold off till the very last. And then if they don't have a tenant, then we'll go ahead and pour that.
Okay.
That way we don't have to cut it back out.
Right. Right. A little more efficient that way. Yeah. And that shouldn't hold up anything else on your building.
Nope.
Yeah. And so what challenges, did you come up with any site challenges, any stormwater issues, things like that on this site?
The worst thing on the site was rain, because every one of my pours dang near when we were done with them, we got rain, so you didn't get bond breaker down on your slab. And you have to have bond breaker to tilt your panels. So we would work Saturdays and Sundays because those were nice days, trying to dry our slabs out with blowers and get bond breaker down for our panels.
Okay.
And after I had $1,000 into dewatering, 1,000 hours into dewatering, I thought, man, a guy could probably take a helicopter and dry that thing out. So we called a helicopter company.
Did you really?
$9,000, I could have dried my whole slab out in 3 hours.
You just had the helicopter drive.
Hover over it and blow the water off. They do it all the time.
We didn't actually do it. We
No,
just
but I will, on my next job, pour a slab. And if I have the same situation, I'll pick a Saturday morning and do a third of my slab, blow it off, spray the whole slab, get all my coats on and be done.
Wow.
Because I would spend hours we spent hours, and I kid you, I had 15 guys on a Sunday with blowers trying to get the water off with driving squeegee machines, sucking all the water out so it doesn't run back in the panels, and it was a pain.
And bond breaker is what keeps the new layer of concrete for your panels from sticking
Yep.
to the slab.
Yep.
Yeah, kind of an important piece of the puzzle.
500,000 square feet, $9,000. Add 1,000 man hours up.
It's a lot more than that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I could have saved a ton of money, and I'll do it next time.
Interesting. All right, so that's a good lesson learned
Yeah.
to pay forward.
Yep.
Any other challenges?
No, she's gone pretty smooth besides that right there.
Weather's been a big one.
Weather's been the big issue on this one.
Which is pretty typical for our area,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
I think we should go take a tour. We'll go look at some of the specifics on the site. What are you anticipating we can look at that's a detail that people might not know about a building like this?
You talk about construction people or just people in general?
Both.
Well, they might not know how we fly these panels up set in the roof. I mean, they build them on the ground, put them up in the air, so that's something people don't see. They probably wonder how we do that. And other than that, that's about all that's going on my job site right now. So we'll go out there and take a look at them. We can look at the panels and those kind of things too. But
We can look at the pour strip and how the docks go together and things like that.
yep,
All right, let's do it.
right on.
Okay, so walk me through starting with your brace panels.
We tilt the panel, brace it to the slab, and then we take the rebar that's in the panel, bend it around to tie our mat. We backfill all that first. Then we bend our bar around, tie our rebar into it. Then when we pour it, ties the panel into the slab there.
Okay.
We cut all that plastic off, get rid of it, and make things look nice in there.
So when a truck pulls in, the level that their truck's gonna sit on is actually,
Bottom of the angle there, yep. Yep, right there.
so you're gonna tie this back in.
Yep, and you put those metal channels right there. We'll go right in the front of this, and they'll pour back into the building too.
Okay, so talk to me a little bit about the designs on the outside of this building, because they've got quite a few.
So when we started the job, there was no architectural designs on the building at all.
Okay.
Ridgefield, with this big building, wanted something on the building to, make it look nicer.
Okay.
So they added the big ones in the middle at first, and all we had was just the big 1 foot strip that went in there. Well, then they came back and they added the block out, 20 foot by 7 foot block out in there, only on two sides of the building.
Oh.
Then they came back again and we did the whole thing then.
Okay.
So,
All right. So that was kind of an ad after the
Yep,
fact.
yep.
And so that pattern gets poured into
yep,
the
that's form liner you put in for the, the taller panels there with the 6-inch piece in between. That's all form liner we put down on the slab. And then the other ones is plywood that we built with chamfered edge. We attach that to the slab, and then you reveal, we ordered that, and it comes out, and we attach that to the slab, and everything gets poured in with the panel.
So these panels, the outside of the building was poured face down, right?
Yep.
The inside was up,
Yep.
so that's that's the side we finished.
Yep.
And you poured them inside?
Inside, yep.
Okay.
Yep.
And then this slab that we're standing on was after.
This poured afterwards.
And we talked about inside, you're gonna wait to pour back all these docks.
I'm not gonna pour any of the docks all the way down. I'm gonna go to the drive-through doors on each end and just pour the short side of the building till a couple months from now. And if Specht gets tenant, then we could put dock levelers in and do all that. And if we do dock levelers, you gotta, cut this piece out 19 and a half, 20 and a half inches out here, because that's usually what your dock levelers, unless they order some custom one. So then we can build that, pour a slab in there, and then get that ready for docks then.
So waiting on those is a way to save money in the event that they get a tenant that wants something different than what they've planned.
Then you ain't cutting your slab all up, making it look ugly.
Yeah, we don't want any ugly slabs.
Nope, we want it to look nice. Yep.
Something I think people may not know is, what does moisture do to concrete? So if you get it poured and then it's raining, does that have any impact on it?
After, like right now?
Yeah, right now. It's all wet.
I don't think it hurts it. I don't know, Elissa. That's a good question. I mean, every job we do is like this, so I don't think it hurts it.
No, I don't think so.
I know when the humidity's up, you'll see your slab sweat. You ever notice that?
Yep.
Yeah. So that's why we leave the doors open. We put those little barriers, vent things in your doors, because your building will sweat because it ain't occupied. So they'll put all that in there to keep it from doing that. So you get airflow in your building.
That's a little known fact about concrete, is it really will continue to emit moisture forever.
Yeah.
Forever.
Yeah.
And so if you take a building and you seal it up tight, it can't breathe anymore.
Yeah.
You can get a rainforest inside.
Oh, yeah.
It's happened, and that's a lot of why they've changed now to the insulation up on top of the deck instead
and all
of
the
underneath.
vents in your roofs and the intakes on one side, and keep the moisture.
Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about safety. You've got a big site, lots of people out here. Logistically, how are you making sure people know where to go, how to stay safe, not get run over, trip in a hole?
So most of our work inside is inside right now with panelized. So they're working on that end. You see where we have the red caution tape around the building. So if they're nailing, like on the far side, see that red caution tape? They're nailing over there so no one goes in there. Okay. Red caution tape, you're not supposed to cross. Yellow, you can.
All right.
Okay, danger tape, you cannot. So then wherever they got overhead work going on, like you see it there, they're doing those wide flanges today, so they're taping that off over there so no one goes in there. So all that's taken care of on the inside of the building through us, but panelizers are the ones that are doing the work.
Okay.
So, and then on the outside, most people park over on this side of the building wherever they're doing the construction work. Like those guys, you can see the cones out front, keeping people from going in there.
I think to answer the question, I think what we do, or most of the subcontractors that we work with they know where they're going anyway, so there's really no need to check in with us. They kind of just go to their little specific staging areas. And George and I think we do pretty well at walking around daily, going to the site, making sure things look good, and if we see something, we call it out and make sure that it's addressed accordingly. So I think that's kind of how we deal with the safety stuff.
Yeah. It's probably a daily conversation.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And my foreman, he's everywhere, and if they see something, they get it taken care of.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Good. Nate, has there been any process of kind of this sequence of events that has surprised you or anything like that since you've been learning about it?
I mean, it's all been not surprising, but seeing it on such a big scale has been pretty cool. I mean, that's been like like I said, we started with dirt and now it's just this massive building. So that's been pretty fun to see. I think one of the I guess surprising elements is when the slab was done, we started forming up the panels. And so, you ultimately know that the panels they're going to get tilted up and it's going to become walls. But when they're on the ground, they're, 9.5 inches thick of concrete, and then they just become these massive tall walls. So for me, it was really cool to see that starting out, just like part of the floor.
And the building grew once they went up, huh?
It did.
It's amazing how much bigger it is when the walls go up.
Yeah, you just think it's just this big open field or big open slab. So that's been surprising to see the magnitude of the buildings that we're building.
How many days did it take you to tilt up all the walls?
Well, we used a hydro, so it's slower. Did it take 7
7 or 8.
7 or 8 days. I can't remember.
Right. So
Let's
you
see.
go from what looks like flat field to building in 7 days.
Yeah, absolutely.
Really. And I think what people don't see is there's an awful lot of work getting to that point before those walls go up, but it's harder to see if you're not out here on site watching it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's all the sequences as you're watching it happen. It's pretty amazing. Yeah.
So can we go up on the roof?
Yeah. Yep.
Okay, so we're at the base of the stair tower. We're gonna go up on the roof, but talk to me a little bit about stair towers and the safety involved in making sure people are using them correctly.
Right. So we put a stair tower up, access to the roof, and access to if someone ever gets hurt too. You have access to the roof to get them off the roof. I mean, you got a full building there. Hard to get a lift up there once you get a roof on the building. So that's for access just in case anyone gets hurt too. And then we put the plywood around it to keep people from going on the roof at nighttime or whatever. You know, you never know who's going to show up on a job. Some young kid driving by on his bicycle. We don't want them going on the roof and falling off. So we plywood it up and we lock it during the night to keep people from going on the roof.
Okay.
So.
Very good.
Yep.
Let's go.
Right on.
All right, so we're up on the roof. We're standing on top of our metal deck. It looks like you've got all your skylights placed already on this half of the roof. Anyway, we're staging the insulation to go up.
Yep.
And so let's talk about the skylight detail a little bit, because skylights can be one of the riskiest things on a roof in terms of leaks.
Yep.
So how do we build those, and what's that gonna look like once we've got the rest of the material up here?
So how we build it, we cut the hole out, hot saw. We got a lift up underneath it for safety so no one can fall in once we cut it out. Then we got a Simpson clip on the sides that hooks to the steel structure down below, and then our wood screws into that to hold our wood in place. Then we put these little straps on to keep our wood together all the way around. That wasn't on the drawings. I decided to do that myself. Okay. And then we have insulation. They spray foam it to keep moisture from going in. Then we have 2 layers of insulation that go up against this. And then they'll build a 1-inch cricket up higher on this side to divert the water from going around it. And then we'll end up having 9 inches of skylight above the roof all the way around.
Now, are these ones smoke hatches too?
Nope.
They're not, the ones that'll pop open.
Yep. And they got a safety thing if you ever fall into them that's built right into them.
They have a grid inside or the, okay.
They're down underneath on the inside.
Because I've seen some different skylights that are actually rated.
Rated where you don't need it. Yep. Yep.
And we used to fabricate those and put them in after the fact too, but I think now they're mostly in it.
VLMK didn't want to engineer it no more for us, so that's why we quit doing it.
Okay, got it. All right. So let's talk a little bit about safety on the roof, because obviously there's a lot of people up here right now. What are your elements for safety?
So we got the barricade 10 feet from the edge. If you're on that side of the barricade, you need to be tied off, like the 2 guys over there are tied off. Anyone working up here has to be barricaded. If they're working out here, they're good. If they're next to the roof, they got to be tied off.
Okay.
At all times.
And the areas where it's not finished yet, those are all barricaded off too, looks like.
So yeah, so we can't go past. We got a ribbon going all the way across. We got an expansion joint in the middle of our building.
Okay.
So everything this way we could work on from that expansion joint, and then we have the barricade going across the expansion joint right there.
Now, at what point can you not work on the roof? Are there certain conditions where you just got to call it quits? Like if it's windy?
Snow, well, our guys, if there's snow up here, wouldn't be up here doing the skylights.
Okay.
Frozen or snow. Panelized wouldn't fly panels if it's windy. You know, depending on us, I don't know if I've ever been off the roof not setting skylights because it's been windy. Because usually our skylights are up here. I mean, it'd have to take a pretty good wind, but most generally we'll keep working, but the roofers and those guys won't when it's windy.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
Or raining, they won't work up here when it's raining. They're just loading the roof today. They won't do no roofing because this has to be dry. So tomorrow if they come out here, they'll take blowers and they'll blow all this.
They're not going to bring the helicopter out?
No, not for this. It's a good idea, though. That is a good idea. I didn't think of that. But you'd have to do it too often with them.
Because they're out here for so many days in a row.
Yeah, they can only do 10, 15,000 a day, so it'd cost them a fortune to do that.
So on a 400,000 square foot building, it's going to take them quite a while to roof this.
Yeah.
A few weeks.
Yeah, how many days would that be? 10 into 500? 50 days. 50 days. See how quick I am? College education, redneck logger. Huh?
You've got a lot to learn from this guy.
I got some big shoes to fill, is what it is.
Now, this roof, we always think of big industrial buildings as flat, but really this isn't quite flat.
No.
There's a little bit of a slope.
Oh yeah, so you got your high point in the middle and everything slopes. You'll have gutters on this edge here. All that insulation will come up to the top of that pressure treated, and then your roofing will go over that. Then you'll have a gutter over top of that. All the water run up here. And then in your corners, we still have a slope there, but they're still adding like 18 inches of insulation over there and then blending it into here to really kick the water out of the corners too. Got it. And then on this far side, we have gutter too. You see where it drops back down, then that's all gutter over there. So water runs that way and this way.
Yeah.
So.
And I know that from working on more of the special project side, roof maintenance is really important. You know, these roofs are designed to last 20 or 30 or 50 years or, you know, whatever they buy. But if you don't do the maintenance, they aren't going to last that long. Right. So it's really important to have somebody that comes up, checks on everything, looks at your skylights, and skylights are an item that need to be replaced over time. A lot of times 5 or 10 years is kind of the best you're going to get out of them before they start having problems.
Right on. Another little secret of the trade. Look down, see where I'm standing.
I know you're on a beam.
And you know,
I know I'm in the middle. I can feel it.
I've always done that too. Whenever I'm on a roof, I always find one, and then I walk them. Then when I have to walk in between, I'll walk in between. But when I stop and talk to someone, I always get on. I don't know why. When you moved and that did that, I got to get on that beam.
That's what I was doing yesterday when I was up here.
Stomach turn
I just
a little
always
bit.
think if that falls, that's a long ways to go down. So I'm always on a girder or a truss. Good idea, huh? Listen, now I just taught you, next time you go to roof, you'll be walking them like me. Oh, where's that truss? Oh, right there. We'll go down this one right here.
I will say I've been on a roof before where we found some soft spots. They didn't know where they were, and that is an eerie feeling.
That ain't a good feeling, is it? Metal roofs are way better, but like a 5/8 plywood, 1/2 inch plywood on the roof, you could feel it and you think, ooh, I don't like the feel of that.
Yeah, they move a lot.
Yeah.
These we have used for wood roof structures. You can use those FLIR cameras to try to find the soft spots from the air and identify leaks or rot. Harder to do on a metal deck, but you know, they take a little longer to rot.
Yep.
Anything else we need to know about the roof?
When it gets like summertime, because of the views, we're gonna like barbecue out here.
You're gonna set some
So
chairs
when you
up?
get on this roof in the summertime in that white roof, you think I ain't going up there no more because you can't hardly see when you get off.
Okay, true story.
Don't forget your sunglasses if you're coming up here in the sunlight.
One barbecue.
All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't care.
Look at the views.
Get him a good April spring day. It's not too hot. Yeah. No, there's some really good views from industrial buildings.
Oh yeah.
Especially in Gresham, you get Mount Hood.
So remember Oregon transfer? Elissa might not have been.
Yes,
Okay, were you okay? When President Bush came to the port, they had rigs all over down there on Marine Drive, whatever that road is. Black Suburbans, snipers on roofs, and here's me and Glenn standing on the roof. I said, this might not be a good area to be. We better get off this roof. Those guys probably got scopes on us right now. Yeah, we watched them pull in, go over to the port there where they offload, you know, the ships and everything. And yeah, he went in there for something. I can't remember what it was, but he met down there. So it was pretty cool. They shut down a bunch of roads that day. Yeah.
Thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate you walking us through this building, and I look forward to seeing it when it's done. Thanks so much for listening today. Thank you for joining us for the Perlo Podcast. Visit us online at perlo.biz. Subscribe to catch our future episodes, and join us on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube to discuss all things construction. And finally, work hard, do what's right, and make it fun. Until next time.